If you are a certain young man who is looking to find your someone, and I say a certain young man like me, you were like 18, 19, 20, you're in college, still in process. Well, to you, what do I think about dating? And I'm doing this from my perspective because I did this myself. Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Purpose Driven, where I, the middle child, drive with a purpose. Dating. Now, this subject on dating, it's very prevalent today because men want women, women want men to a certain extent. And the concept is supposed to be, you're supposed to be trying to find someone that you can eventually fulfill what the government regulates as your one person limit, which is you get one wife in America legally. Now, if you find someone, there are situations where people still practice polygamy or whatever, or people have open relationships. If that's what you want to do you? But for the majority, they abide by the one rule, which is legally you have one partner to raise your kids, to move through life with. Now, if you are a certain young man who is looking to find your someone, and I say a certain young man like me, you were like 18, 19, 20, you're in college, still in process. Well, to you, what do I think about dating? And I'm doing this from my perspective because I did this myself. At a young age, at 17, I knew I wanted to be a father. I knew I wanted a woman. I knew I could do this one thing, marriage thing. Now, eventually I opened up to where I realized, you know what, I actually could do the polygamy thing where I have and when I say polygamy, I don't mean like 5, 6 wives. I mean like I could do maybe 2, 3 wives. That's reasonable. But that's just if the people I get with were comfortable with that. I've found out throughout college that I was like, of course you get different perspectives. I was like, you know what, it is kind of weird why they only have, where you can only have one wife, one husband, that kind of thing. Now, I do think it's more so from the men's part where I do believe it is easier for a man to deal with, when I say multiple women, I don't mean like a bunch of women. I'm talking about like they practice overseas where you have one husband and, 2, 3 wives, et cetera, depending on how he's able to provide for them. Now, when it comes to dating as a young man in America, this is from in America. So I'm assuming you're going by you're just gonna have one wife because legally you can only have one wife. And it's crazy because now when you have that situation where you can only get one, you want the best one. How do you know if the one you've chosen is that best one? Well, I'm sorry to break to break any hearts or whatever, but you don't. You're never going to know. Especially today, we have so many options. There's so many ways you can deal with women that you normally would not have been able to be around. Situations where you are in Kansas and you're able to talk to someone in Michigan, et cetera, et cetera. You're able to be around more people that you normally wouldn't have been able to. So because of that, now we're in a special situation where now you have more options. And hopefully we don't get to a point where there's too much over choice. Shout out to Mr. Shannon Rawls, which I talked about this on his show, where someone who has too many choices doesn't choose anyone. And this is only true for the top guys. This is only true for the top guys and the women that can deal with them. I'm talking about the top 20%. All the women want them, therefore all the women are pretty much putting their hat in the ring. Like, oh, I want a shot at you, and dealing with these men, doing whatever they can to get these men. Now, you as a young man, you're not in this tier, unless you're a young NBA player who's like 6 something and you're rich and you just got that 14 million contract, like, nah, you're not in that top 20%. More than likely, I'm talking to someone who is thinking of college, some sort of career somewhere. You're looking to go the more traditional route because you might not have gotten drafted, that kind of thing. That's who I'm talking to. And if you're in this certain category, there is a certain way you're going to have to date. Like I say, this is purpose driven, and I date with a purpose. So before you even throw your hat in the ring, before you even talk about trying to do this, and that, no, you better know exactly what the outcome is. For me, the outcome is marriage. The outcome was to find someone I can have children with. I wasn't just dating to have sex. I wasn't just dating to date. Like, no, I was dating because the outcome I desired was to get married, have kids. That was the outcome I desired. If you think similar, then fine, that's great. Now I can talk to you. Now, as a young guy, I'm gonna tell you what I did. Pretty much, I knew, just because of what society was telling me, with how women move in general, what women talk about, what they want in a guy, how women deal with certain men that are certain financial class, physical class, meaning, muscle mass, etc., etc. So I knew I was fit, but I wasn't like, I don't think I hit really my pubic stride really. So I want to say like a lean, because I had like 5% body fat, I had abs, but it's just like my muscle mass wasn't like, it was hard for me to put on weight. Today it's a bit different. Now I can put on weight a little easier now, both good and bad weight. It was one of those things where I knew, okay, if I might not find a decent woman. And when I was talking about women, I did specifically want a black woman. This adds another layer of complexity to it, because as we know, there is a certain dynamic between black men and women today where it's more than just they're just modern women. No, there's some sort of thing dating between black men and women where there's a certain much greater level of entitlement and disrespect amongst the two. And black men are not, highly valued when you talk about marriage to black women, by the majority. I'm talking about majority. I'm not talking about all. So no all police, please. And because of this, I knew, okay, if I couldn't find someone when I was 17, I would have to get with someone after 30. After I worked my way up and got some sort of finance behind me, I would have to get with somebody after that point. And I understood that. Luckily, and I want to say maybe it was some luck, maybe it just, because let's just be real, there is some luck when it comes to life. Because I was a certain caliber of man, the woman I was able to meet one of these women that was willing to get with me. She saw the real value in me. She's as a future husband, as a young man in process, she saw the value in me. And it wasn't more so like I was trying to show off to her, but I was just being me. I was like, hey, this is me, this is the way I want to move, and this is what I want to do. She saw that. She's like, hey, I like the way you move. Apparently I moved like her dad, which was a man she very highly respected. Now these are some key points that I might have to touch on later. But I was able to find a young lady that was willing to build with me as I built my finances up, as we're in process of making our family. So I'm going to have to touch on the subject in another episode. But I do believe it is important, especially in today's world, where there is a very unique position where young men today, especially young black men today, are in when it comes to trying to make a family. And that's one of the things I really want to dive into on this channel. So till next time.